Hello everybody, and welcome back to Geek Chef Gaming. I am your host, Chris, the Geek Chef Tracy, and if you've never seen me play before, I mostly specialize in niche games and turn-based tactics, and all that. And if you have seen me, you're probably relieved to see something other than Blood Bowl for once. And today, as you can see, I'm giving you all Geneforge by Spiderweb Software. For those who don't know, Spiderweb Software is a one-man studio in Seattle that has been making games independently since the mid-90s. They were doing indie before indie was sexy. And this is a remake of their first Geneforge game, as the name might suggest. And I have the whole series on GOG, and they're pretty good. And when I heard that they're basically doing a updated version of the first one, I've decided to pick it up. It's a shame that I had missed the Kickstarter for it, because I would have totally backed this. But anyway, let me just get this into full screen mode. For me, okay, I'll have them do it. Ask me at startup so I can just fix it later. Windowed mode isn't too bad for now, I suppose. So let's start a new game. There are three character types to start with in Geneforge: the Shaper, the Guardian, and the Agent. The Shaper is the default, and they are your classical glass cannon. But unlike your classical glass cannon, like mage type, their magic power is only medium. Their main specialty is creating monsters, as the world of Geneforge is dominated by the Shaper Guild. A guild of literal life mages, and what they do is create and modify life as they see fit. So you have medium-powered spells typically, as a Shaper, medium-powered spells, pretty pathetic physical traits, so you're not going to smash things with swords very hard. But you can create a small army of little monsters to fight on your behalf, and if they die, they're expendable. You can just create a new one. Guardians are kind of the inverse to this. They are meant to be as the name suggests, the guardians of the Shapers. They are the frontline military force. Very strong physical stats, weak magic stats, but middle shaping. So they can create some backup monsters to help support them, but they're very much get in the thick of things and be the sword and board tank. And lastly, if you know how triangles work, you can guess what the agent's about. These are the spies of and assassins of the Shaper's Guild. Thus, they are the most powerful traditional mages out there. So if you want the biggest fireballs, this is the class to play as. However, inversely, they have the weakest shaping ability, and so their monsters tend to be very weak or just don't have a lot of them. But they are of middling physical ability, and due to games balancing, this is actually the hardest class to play as, because they expect you to have some fodder in there. But for this playthrough, we're going to do Shaper. And veteran difficulty, because let's get and read the intro here. Shapers are the oldest and most respected, most secretive, and most powerful of the magical sex. They have the power to create life. Shapers can make new life forms from nothing but organic matter and pure magic. They can mold life to serve any purpose, be it life outwork or major warfare. Shapers guard the secrets of their powers very closely. To learn the teachings without permission is to court a speedy death at the hands of a guardian in the day or an agent in the night. After years of hard work and study and testing, you have been finally accepted into the Shapers. It is the greatest of honors. You'll spend the rest of your life advancing their will and learning their secrets. First, you must complete your apprenticeship. You must spend 5 years in a Shaper colony on a remote island, watching their work and aiding in their research. The journey is 2 weeks long. You travel on a living craft, a specially modified Dryak that will sail you to your destination. After a week's journey, you pass close to a small island. Your chart identifies it as Sukia Island. It's barred by the Shapers, forbidden for unknown reasons. Dangerous accidents, valuable secrets. Visiting is punishable by death. You watch Suka Island, wondering what secrets lie there. Thus you fail to notice a warship off to the east. Your craft carries out an alarm alerting you. The ship is an unfamiliar style. It instantly fires a long spear at your craft. The laser-sharp bolt strikes your Dryak in the neck. It roars in anger and breathes a bolt of fire at your attacker. It strikes the enemy sails and sets them ablaze. The battle takes only seconds. Your living craft flounders, mortally wounded, dropping you into the water. Your equipment sinks to the depths. You start to sink into the rough waves, but with one last effort, your living craft saves you. Bleeding, dying, it drags you towards Sukia Island. You grab onto the crumbling dock and climb it. You guys can read it from there, damn it. I'm getting tongue-tied. Welcome to Geneforge. Messages will pop you up to learn the game. Your character's on the dock. This is just tutorial stuff. Okay. You stagger off the dock, weakened to the point of collapse. But you're desperate by your desperate swim here. After a few minutes, you manage to regain enough of your senses to look around. You are on the south coast of the mysterious island. However, far apart from the fact that this isle was declared barred by your people, you know nothing about it. You wish you had early started your shaping training. The islands are generally barred because of failed experiment and the presence of horrible rogue creations. Worryingly, fortunately, except for the lapping of the lays at the base of the docks, all is quiet. If you're going to be devoured, it won't be soon. However, you're still stranded and desperately weak as well. Fortunately, the beach stretches off to the east. Maybe you can find supplies and help. You have 100 coins. Okay, I can search these. Junk. Junk. There's an old ratty cloak on the ground in front of you. It looks like it's been there a while, and it's not very clean. However, you're wet and cold enough to want it. Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay. Shapers are generally fond of heavy robes and dramatic cloaks. They are warm materials that provide resistance against elemental attacks. Cloak. Better than nothing. There is a tunnel built into the side of the hill. Your guess is a storeroom or warehouse. Usually as one is placed near the docks of a settlement. The structure is crumbling, and you guess it's been abandoned for at least a century, probably 2. After all these years, most of the goods inside are probably useless. You might still be able to salvage something useful. Junk. Mundane and non-magical weapons, but effective nonetheless. Shapers are nothing if not practical. Basic thrown weapon. More junk. Doors and canisters. Stand next to the door to open it. Select the canister to absorb its power. There is a doorway below you to the left. Most doors open when you get close enough to them. Others are opened by pulling levers. Walk up to the door, and when it opens, go through. Select the glowing canister. You'll be in for a pleasant surprise. There is an office to the west. The shelves on the wall have nothing on them but dust. The cabinet is in the back corner. However, it might contain something useful. $12 coins. The box contains a variety of papers. You rifle through them eagerly, hoping to get a clue as to where you are, or what might cause this island to be barred. It's of no use. The papers crumble at your touch. Beneath the papers, though, you find something interesting. A brass key. None the worse for wear, for its long concealment. You take it. I could probably sell that later. Inside is a small chamber. You find several crystal cylinders. They look like canisters, about 4 foot high. Each side is made of a thick, carefully blown glass. Most of them have been broken. The contents are long lost. One of them, however, is still intact. Inside you see a faint glowing fluid. It swirls and moves about. It's seemingly under its own power. It looks like it is, in its own way, alive. It probably is. You've seen similar objects. With the shapers can store essence concoctions filled with life energy, which heal or energize those in need. This must be something like that. There's a sharp metal needle emerging from the top. If you let it poke you in the palm of your hand, the substance will emerge and energize you. You are in a weakened state. It seems hard to resist. Open canister. When you open the canister, you feel the agents working on you. You're suddenly struck by a dizzy spell, driving you to your knees. It's not caused by hunger or fear, but by the effects of the strange substance in that canister. The essence-filled emerald goo didn't heal or revive you like you expected. It changed you. It's like it soaked into your skin and rewrote some of your very being, making you stronger. A strange urge and instinct seizes you. You extend your fingers and focus. Tiny trails of flame shoot out of them. Magic. Actual magic. What would have taken years of training you learn to do in an instant. It is exhilarating and at the same time utterly alien. You have no idea that your people could do something so wonderful. And you feel a deep compulsion to find more of these canisters. Canisters are your main way to gain new abilities while on Sukia Island. You can now cast Firebolt. At least you move fast on this. Yes, I know the graphics are crap, but that's that the guy who makes these games is kind of dedicated to the actual gameplay portion of things. He doesn't care too much about the graphics too much, which is interesting for an HD remake. The path farther to the island is blocked by a thick stone door marked with the symbol of the Shapers. When you get close, your skin tingles. Complex magical protections are in place. You hear a soft, reassuring voice. Sukia Island has been barred by the Shapers. For more information, send a request to the Council. Only full Shapers are allowed entry. Shaper qualities are detected within you. You may pass. Please do not remove or interact with any. The voice then cuts out. Strange. What the heck was that ghost thing? Yeah, healing pod. A gourd that can specially formulated, mildly enchanted shaper-made goo. Eating it has some beneficial effect. Fortunately, it keeps for a long time. Pods held only help you. Use spores to help your entire party. What's that? Sticks. So that's what that button does. There's a shade standing in front of you. It is hazy, insubstantial humanoid. It warps and twists in the light breeze. You suspect that a strong wind would tear it apart. It hovers in the air, staring at you. Though you can't make out any of its features, you can clearly tell that it's watching you. Special encounters like this one give you several actions or things to say or choose from. Select a response below or type a number next to it. Why are you watching me? The shade does not respond. It continues to watch you. A light breeze causes ripples to appear on its misty surface. It's strange. Sometimes shades like this are ghosts. Other times they are spies or scouts woven from essence by a shaper to explore, learn, return, and report. Are you creation? The shade does not respond for a moment. Then it starts to move slowly toward you. Then it begins to break apart, as if the motion was too much for it. It dissolves rapidly in the warm twilight. You are alone in the clearing. Locked door. There's a switch for it. Tunic. My robes are better, but I will pick it up just to get it. The shield, though, is better than nothing. Half my armor equipment weight's used up. That's fine. Anything else here? Not that I can see. Pull lever. One of your keys unlocks the chains. You pull the lever. So that's what that silver key was for. Now that you've made some progress, you should save the game. Saving the game creates a snapshot of your progress later. I know how saving works. This isn't my first video game. But it is not joking about how not knowing when you'll be killed, because the game can get extremely harsh. This is probably the barracks for some guardians and agents. They were abandoned years ago. The beds have rotted away, and there's trash everywhere. Whoever left it behind here very quickly, left it very quickly too. I didn't. Recording doesn't matter. And there's one thing I could say is they should just have a. No, that was for that door, so it didn't do anything. Tunic. Dagger. More javelins. Autosave kicked in. One helpful feature, when you press the tab key, you'll see a label identifying each creature in all directions. Press it now. Strange roamer. Probably the first enemy. Once again, you find you're not alone. There's a roamer just ahead of you, watching you. The roamer is a creation. It is a creature invented and improved on by your people for use as a scout or an attack dog. Since it's a creation, it should naturally be inclined to obey you. However, this creature isn't servile to you at all. It doesn't look hostile, it's just staring. It's an eerie feeling being watched by a creation in this way. Creations have always obeyed you mindlessly before. It's clear that whatever this island is, shapers have been here. However, if this island's full of road creations, you may have a serious problem. When you get close to the roamer, it sniffs at you, then it gets nervous and runs away. Odd. Let's see what's over here. Immediately recognize this place. It's an inn where visitors and travelers could stop for steaks, drinks, and sleep. The crumbling roasting pit still dominates the center of the room. You're getting confused. The island once fully settled. Why? Most islands are barred because of experiments gone awry, and most such experiments are employed by very small labs and crude quarters, safely far from society. Yet you've seen a warehouse, guard posts, and now an inn. At one point, a lot of shapers lived here. Now they're all gone. Why? What could have driven so many of your people off, and what took their place? Some more healing pods. Can never have too many healing pods. Give me a little bit extra armor. If nothing else, I can get some gloves, boots, and an accessory. Looking in the north, you can see that you are not alone in this island. Although you are worried about horrible mutant creations, the next creatures you encounter are nowhere near so terrifying. It's a flock of orcs. Orcs are a shaper creation. It's a slow, clumsy livestock animal, hardy and laden with meat. Shapers created them to stalk the lands unfriendly to non-created non-created animals, such as apparently this one. You notice that these orcs have large ducks, probably added by the shapers to protect them from predators. Fortunately, they're likely to leave you alone if you leave them alone. Okay, a trade item. Okay, anything over here? It's like a little hut. Thorns, but I'll take those. Shapers grow these thorns in specially bred bushes. They are loaded into batons and fired at enemies. If you try to fire an unloaded baton, you'll automatically reload it with thorns in your inventory. Basically, these are the arrows of the game. To open this door, you need to unlock the lever. If your mechanic skill is 2 or higher, you just need to select it and open it. Otherwise, you need to bring a living tool here. Use it, then select the lever. So I need to level up to come back here after I level up, basically. And this actually makes a good segue to talk about stats. You've reached the northern edge of the region. You can see more of the settlement to the north, and then you can, then you're ready to move on. Step into the area shaded blue. You will then be on the world map. To travel to the new region, select it, then select travel to make things easier. The next section will automatically be selected for you. You're already regaining your strength and feeling more confident. In the next session, you'll learn about spells and combat. Good luck, and your ventures are just beginning. Train? Yeah. Okay. Here's the stat screen. These are your main core stats. And these are cost relatively high to level up. But these are your core stats. Almost anything you do will be tied to these in one level or another. Strength helps you carry more and deal more melee damage. Agility helps you evade damage and helps you at range combat. Intellect gives you more energy for spells, so if you want to cast a lot of magical spells, this is for you. Essence Mastery. Essence helps you create more creatures and cast bigger spells. This is important to me as I'm a shaper. Endurance is what your HP is based off of. And these tooltips just tell you more about how these are calculated, but it does say that your health will refill to full automatically just by visiting a friendly town or by standing by a healing pool. Okay, and since I leveled up, I have 10 skill points to spend. And as you can see, if I were to spend some here, it would cost me 4. Then come the skills. They come in 4 general categories, 3 main, 1 general. The main ones are divided by what your class is good at, and at least the game is convenient enough to tell you what your class is good at, which basically means a discount in the cost of raising it. So it's all these cost quite a bit at 4 for me to raise these, whereas my magical skills, they cost 3, shaping skills cost 3, with the exception of healing spells and stuff, which cost 2. In general, no one has default good action to this, but it's basically for your anything not related to combat usually falls into general. Leadership is basically your diplomacy stat. High leadership opens up new options and may let you get through things without fighting. Mechanics is how you just pick locks and disarm traps, and stealth is sneaking. Okay, so what am I gonna do? And, well, magical skills are divided into subcategories here, as you can see, with spellcraft being a general one. And what does it do? Gives a 3% bonus to all spells. After the spell is cast, restores 3 points of the energy in essence cost. Each point gives a 3% chance your spell attacks will cause fewer action points. Okay, so if you want to cast lots of spells, spellcraft is what you want. Quick action is basically that version of that for spellcraft, where you'll occasionally crit and your attack will cost you less action points. Evasion is just a blanket. Okay, the attack just outright misses you, so it's basically a non-armor armor stat. Battle magic, and if you're not sure what spell goes to each of these, that's where this comes in, because it at least tells you what every spell does and under what general category it is. I only have one spell, Firebolt, and Battle Magic. I'll put some in mechanics. And one in leadership. That should do her. Now to go back to that little hut so I can open it without needing lockpicks. Basically, the Shaper lockpick basically sums up the Shaper attitude towards their creation. It's a little squid-like thing that you stuff into a keyhole. It then uses its tentacles to flip the tumblers, and then when you yank on the creature once it's done with that, it crushes the creature, killing it. More complex the lock, the more of them are required to be stuffed into the hole to work it. Naturally, this kills the lockpick. Found a weapons cache. Ice crystal. This ice crystal contains a single magic card. When thrown at an enemy, it will turn into a dangerous and damaging bolt of energy. Cone of ice attack. Same. Garbage. Some thorns. Anything here? No. No. Well, having some minor spell nukes will be handy. But anyway, I'm going to leave the zone now and use the restroom. I'm also going to create a break here for YouTube, and I'll be back in a minute.